Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's Sunday. Sorry for the late post. Took my kids and my wife out to the circus. It was actually kind of fun, but it was like 3 hours long. So I'm a little bit behind on what I wanted to cover today, but we'll get into everything. So we'll take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, see what's going on there. They're actually pumping really good right now. We'll take a look at it. And then we got Blackrock. They have a crypto prediction for us, a wave of things to come. So this is actually really good news from Blackrock, which has about $8 trillion under management. So the way they're looking at it is pretty positive. Then we're also going to take a quick look at BITMAIN versus Canaan, which is better as far as which miner should you buy if you're looking to buy one right now. And I'm talking about to the home miners, and then what the return on investment is and how many months it could possibly be, and whether or not you should even get into it, okay? So we'll get into that last. And as always, you guys know the drill here. Not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. Don't fall for scams. And I'm invested in following coins and companies for full disclosure. Also, if you enjoy this type of content where we talk about the Bitcoin miners, the ASIC miners, things like that, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's get into the charts here on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin right now is at 17,308. So it is pumping kind of nicely right now. Good thing that I'm seeing right now, RSI, if we look at the RSI, this is on the 1 hour chart, is a bit higher on here. Oh, you can't see it when I do that. So it's at 82 right now. So it's positioning us to be a little bit overbought. But we are higher in price, even when we were back here, which was 78, and price was much higher, or much lower at that point. It was approximately $400 less than what it is now. So that's a good sign right there. I'm sure we're going to have a little bit of a pullback happening over the next several hours to a day, where price is probably going to come down a little bit, or if not, at least the RSI is going to cool off a little bit, fall, while the price just hovers, just goes sideways for a while until we get a little bit of a breather in the RSI and then possibly goes back up. So that's a good sign there. 4 hour chart also is looking good. It is now at 71 on the RSI. Last time we were back here, price was lower. So that's a good sign as well. So we are turning a more bullish on the 1 hour, the 4 hour chart. We still don't have that indication here, at least on the daily chart. We can see here it is at 52 right now. Last time we were at this point was back here on the, wow, that's going all the way back to the 2nd of November. So, and price at that point was higher. So it's going to take a while for that to change over possibly. But at least short term, it is looking a little bit bullish right now. Ethereum is up right now to 1,295. So it's up, was it 1.21% so far on the new day? It was up also prior to that 3.12%, so it's having a pretty good day as well. This one you can see price has been pretty flat here over the last 5 days. RSI is pretty flat also on the daily chart on that one. 4 hour chart, RSI is at 62. Last time we were around this range was right around here. We can see price was at that point lower as well. So it's a little bit more bullish on the 4 hour chart, 1 hour chart. Squeeze these in a little bit. And we can see here RSI is at 76. Last time we were at this range was right around here. At that point, price was a little higher on the 1 hour chart at least, showing up here. So we still need that to convert over to be more bullish. We need the RSI to come down a little bit, price go up higher, and then we'll be good for at least a short-term bull run. Okay, so those are the miners there. We'll see how that goes. We're still waiting on the CPI data, which won't be out until the 13th, I believe, which is going to be next week. Not this week, but next week, the following week. So we still have a ways to go for that. And then the Fed is having their meeting following the CPI data on the 13th and the 14th. So we'll see if we get a 50% basis rate increase or if we're going to get the 75, but it's looking like we may get this 50 basis point, okay? So we got that to look forward as well. Other thing is, while we're cleaning house here, Soluna still has not provided all of us with their November numbers, or October numbers, sorry, we're already in the November numbers. So the October numbers have not been provided by Soluna. Because of that, they're way behind now. They usually were always late to post those results, typically around towards the end of the month. But they haven't done that even now, and we're already into December. So for that reason, they're going into my watch bin. I'm going to watch them, see how they do, but I'm not going to talk about them anymore until they get into a rhythm of providing us monthly updates at a regular time, and hopefully they can improve on it. They're always like at the 3rd, 4th week in the month providing the prior month's data. So that's just where we're at with it. So just a little cleaning house. And let's take a look at what BlackRock had to say. So this is from Forbes. Here's what they said. So the next generation BlackRock CEO reveals 8 trillion funds huge crypto prediction after a Bitcoin and Ethereum price crash. And here's what he had to say. Now the CEO of Blackrock, the world's largest asset manager with around $8 trillion in assets under management that signed a major deal with Coinbase earlier this year, has predicted crypto's blockchain technology will usher in the next generation for markets. And here's what he meant by it. He believes the next generation for markets and the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. BlackRock's Larry Flint, who's previously expressed skepticism over crypto, said on stage at the New York Times Deal Book Summit this week. So that's a pretty strong conviction there, and it's also a big reversal from where he was prior to that. And remember, they control $8 trillion. So they have a lot of influence in this space. Bitcoin crypto blockchain technology allows traditional assets to be tokenized on a public ledger, potentially making the transfer of anything from stocks, bonds, real estate, and alternative investments like art cheaper and easier. So we've seen this kind of a little bit with art, NFTs, if you can think about it. I never got into NFTs. I just couldn't wrap my head around paying $50,000 for a GIF or a JPEG of something that I can just download from the internet and have it on my computer. Didn't make any sense to me. Yeah, it's the one of a kind, whatever it might be, the first whatever. But I still couldn't get behind it. It's just too crazy for me on that deal. But the other parts of it here, making stocks, right? Right now we have a lot of companies that are middlemen for this, that take a percentage, a little slice of the puzzle there, pie. Bonds is another thing. Real estate, same thing, right? You have to go through a whole closing process on that. If you could put it all on the blockchain, make it more instant, faster, and easier to control, I think those are all good things. And then when you get into investments like art, you could maybe get proof of owning a Michael, what's this guy's name? No, it's not D'Angelo. The major artists out there that from the late 1700s, 1600s, whatever that might be. If you buy one of their paintings, you get that put on the blockchain. It's automatically transferred over to you. You have control rights to that. So I could see those types of things happening. Okay, so that would be really good. And continuing on here, so here's another quote from him. I actually believe this technology is going to be very important, Flink said. Think about instantaneous settlement of bonds and stocks. No middleman. We're going to bring down fees even more dramatically. Think about it. It changes the whole ecosystem. And I agree with him. It does, if we can get to that point. Now, Bitcoin still has some updates that it has to go through to get to smart contracts and things like that, but they are working towards it. There are others like Ethereum that already provide it, and this is going to be the next generation of things to come. It's going to take a while, for sure, but I think eventually we will get there, which will be better for everybody where things are. Right now, you do a trade on E-Trade, on Webull, on any of the exchanges where you're dealing with stocks, and it's usually like a T2 settlement, so it's 2 days to settle things. I still can't figure out why it takes that long to settle it. It should be instantaneous. The computer systems are there. I think it's just the technology and the transfers of everything that take time. So if we can speed that up, that could help you out in investing by you don't have to wait for that 2 days to settle. So if something goes wrong with the decision you made in a stock, you can automatically sell out of it and get into another one without having to wait, which we right now have to. So those are the types of things that are going to be a huge boom for this industry, I think. And then here's another quote. I actually believe most of the companies are not going to be around. Fink said BlackRock indirectly invested around $24 million in FTX. However, it was not in the core part of BlackRock's business, according to Fink. So it looks like they lost $24 million. And there are companies that are going to be, might not be around. One is FTX for sure. We got BlockFi that's filing bankruptcy as well. We got others. Genesis is in the same boat. So there are companies that were around in the beginning. They're going to get flushed out. New players are going to get into the space, which hopefully will abide by regulations, and hopefully we get regulations as well going forward, and this will drive the whole market further. So it's kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We seem to have this every bull run where we go 2 steps forward and then we get slapped in the face by something that's, whether it was ICOs in the 2017, 2018 timeframe. Now we got the NFTs and DeFi, not really DeFi, but these yield farms where they were promising all this yield and it never materialized. Well, it materialized in the beginning, but eventually crashed. It was basically a house of cards on it. So that is it. But this is interesting that, the largest holder of investment, about 8 trillion, is looking at it positively in the crypto space. So this is a really good thing. It's just going to take time, like anything else. It's not going to happen overnight. It will take time. Okay. So I just wanted to point this out to you guys. And let's get into Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, Antminer versus Canaan. Okay, so with this, I wanted to compare two of the miners, ASIC miners. One is from BITMAIN. We're looking at the S19 Pro, which is 100 terahash, 2,950 watts. It is selling for about $19.5 per terahash, which is $1,950. And we're also looking at the Avalon miners, which are the Avalon Miner A1346-110T, the 3,300 watts. So that one's selling for about $23 per terahash. The price here is about $2,530. And this is a price that small miners that have a small mining farm in their basement, in their shed, in their garage, have a couple miners, this is what we're going to be paying. Large institutions that are having or buying thousands of these are going to be paying a lot better price, closer probably to $10, $12, maybe even as low as $9. I have heard of companies being offered to buy these S19 Pros for about $9 to $10 per terahash. But then you're buying, tens of thousands of these miners instead of a couple, 2, 3, 5, maybe 10 at the most, whatever you can, plug it in at your home. So that's kind of what we're going at here with these two, is just to see how the home miner might be able to squeeze profits out of these, and just how long is it going to take to do that. Okay, so those are the two miners that we're looking at here. And here's the setup for the data. So there are some assumptions here. The assumption is that the network hash rate over the next year is going to grow by 1.5% each month, following year about 2%, third year about 1.5%, and the fourth year 1.5%. Then when we get into Bitcoin price, we're looking at the next 12 months price appreciation of about 5.5% per month, which would get us to about 29,000 within 12 months. And then after that, we get closer to the halving event in 2014, around March. We're going to start going up about 15% per month, potentially to get us to 159,000. That would be at the end of, towards the end of 2024, we would be at 159,000 roughly. Then we go back into a bear market where we drop down 8.4% a month. And that would get us under 55,000. After that, we go up 5%. That would get us back up to 99,000. That's kind of the assumptions that I'm going with here. The nice thing about this spreadsheet is that you can punch in different numbers here and see different results for these. I'm just going with the results that I have in here, which are kind of in line with what happened back in 2017 and this time around as well, as far as how much the Bitcoin has gone up, percentage of network hash rate, things like that. So we're kind of using the historical data that we have found on these. Okay. We're also using the current Bitcoin price of 16,500. We can actually probably up that to, it's now at 17,200. So let's do that. And we also have the network hash rate roughly at 250 million right now. So we'll leave it at that. Then we're also looking at electrical prices. So electrical prices, the high point is set at 0.095. And that's kind of on the lower end for residential electricity. Depending on where you live, it could be lower. Where I live, it's about 10.5 cents. So this is a little bit on the lower side here. And then we're using the cost of $19.50 per terahash. And the first one that we're doing here is the 100 terahash miner. Cost is $1,950 watts, $29.50 is what reported by BITMAIN. Electrical cost per day is $6.73. ROI is about 22 months. If we look at the blue line here, this is the 9.5 cent line. We're looking at about 23 to 22 months of return on investment. This little shift in the direction on the chart is when we get into the halving event. So when the halving event happens, the reward gets cut in half. So instead of getting 900 BTC roughly per day, the miners will be getting only 450 BTC. So that's cutting in half, and then that is actually extending or prolonging the ROI that you would get otherwise. So if we didn't have that halving event, it would be within 18 months, something like that. But because of that halving event, it's going to cost, well, you're going to have less rewards, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So the blue line here is the 9.5. The green line is about 9, or no, we're going, 9. Then we're going 8.5 cents, 8, 7.5, 7, 6.5, 6, 5.5, 5, and then 4, 4.5 is where we're going down to. So the big takeaway from this is electricity costs can make or break you, right? The miner as well, but not as much as the electrical cost that you're going to be paying out. So I ran the numbers here for the two of them, and you can see here on the two charts. So the top one is the Avalon A1346 110 at $23 per terahash, which comes out to be $2,530. And that's a 110 terahash miner, 3,300 watts. You're looking on that one, if you're at 9.5 cents, you're about 24, 25 months out. That's a long time for a return on investment. If you have the best electrical price of 4.5 cents, you're looking at roughly 15 to 16 months to break even on it. And then after that, it's all profit for you. So that is a big difference between 25 to 10 months roughly between the prices here of 4.5 and 9.5 cents to break even on it. That's for that one, for the Avalon. For the Antminer S19 Pro, which is 19.5 terahash per terahash, we're looking at approximately, not much better, but still better, between 23 and 24 months at 9.5 cents, and then at 4.5 cents, you're looking at about 14 months. So a much faster return on investment on that one. And that is, the main reason for that is the wattage. The 2,950 watts is less than the 3,300 watts, even though you have more terahash here. So it's not always apples to apples. You really have to kind of look into it, dig deep into it, run some analysis, run some what ifs to see which one is actually going to come out ahead. So just kind of wanted to point that out to you. And here is the 48-month profit. After 48 months, you would have about $2,000 in profit on this one and $1,500 on the Avalon after that. So that is a little bit better as well. So you would have more profit potentially. But it all depends really on where Bitcoin goes, where the network hash rate goes as well. So there's a lot of things that go in the mix of this that could really throw a wrench into your plans. But this is just a kind of quick way to kind of look at things, see what the potential is out there. Things may change. We may not go up 5.5% per month this year that we're going through from December to December of next year. We could be flat for 6 months of that, whatever it might be. We might also go up higher. We might go up to maybe 50,000 by the end of next year. We could be lower. We could be at 20,000, stuck it there for some reason. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's possible. So there's all these things that you can kind of look into and run scenarios on to figure out what is going to be the best return on investment. So based on the information that we have here, some assumptions that we've also put in here, the BITMAIN Antminer is the better one to go with, even though, like I said, it's lower terahashes, but the wattage is lower and your ROI is going to be better also in the long run. Now, the people that are going to be mining from home, whether it's in their garage, in their shed, in their basement, whatever it might be, if your electricity cost is closer to the 9.5 cents, 10 cents mark, I would advise against it unless you plan on flipping the bill, basically paying the bill for electricity if you're profitable or not, and holding the Bitcoins until they go up in value. That's the only way I would recommend possibly doing it if you can afford it. Otherwise, if you're looking this to make money on it, there are going to be times where the network hash rate and the price comes down where it's just not profitable. The only good thing right now is that we are in a bear market. Usually when you get miners in a bear market, you're more likely to recoup your investment faster than when you buy in a bull market. So that's the only positive right there. Okay, so that is it. Just wanted to point that out to you guys. Let me know what your comments, what your thoughts are on this as well. And then we'll see what happens this week. Hoping to get a lot more data from the miners for November production updates. That'll be interesting to take a look at. So far, we've only had 3 or 4 that have provided that. And like I said, Soluna is out. We've waited long enough for them. And that's also concerning because Soluna, well, anytime a company stops providing monthly updates, it's not a good sign, especially since they were providing them and they were providing pretty detailed ones. I would rather have them provide less information, but more regularly and more frequently. So all we really need to know is what was your hash rate, what was the possibly cost to mine, and how many Bitcoins you mined, how many machines you installed, basic information. We don't need all the breakdown that Solana has done, but it was a lot of great data though. But it takes time to put it all together. So I hope Solana gets back on track and they start providing the information, okay? So that is it. That's all I got for you guys. Like I said, sorry for the late post. Family always comes first. So I'll leave it at that, and we'll see what this week brings, okay? Spreadsheet is available to my Patreon members as always. Thank you to everyone there for the continued support. Great group of people there. And what else was I going to say? Thank you so much for watching. Love you all. Have a great night. I'll see you guys in the next one.